Thanks for downloading another segment from the Best of the Classic Metal Show. The Classic Metal Show is heard live on Saturdays from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com. And now here's another piece of Classic Metal Show history on the Best of the Classic Metal Show.
The Classic Metal Show.
That's Helstar right here on the Classic Metal Show from their latest release called The King of Hell, and that is the title track right there. And Chris, guess who we got on the phone?
I'm imagining it is the great vocalist of Helstar himself, Mr. James Rivera.
Well, I was going to give him a bigger wind-up than that.
That's big enough, guys. Yeah, thank you.
The King of Hell himself, James Rivera.
I even surgically had hoods put on now, finally.
Nice. Well, James, it's good to have you back here on the Classic Metal Show. You're a guy that, you never stop working, and the fact, one of the things that I'm excited about is the fact that you are teaming back up with Jack Frost again and doing some Seven Witches stuff.
Yeah, we hooked up back about, it's been a year ago from this coming May when he was doing the Belladonna gigs. And he came through Houston, and, we kept in touch lightly here and there. And, when you have, like, real musicianship and real friendship and compadreship, as we call it, like we did, no matter what the staleness might have evolved, what makes bands go their own ways or what have you, your feelings are real. So when that time has passed, then you realize, now all I remember from Seven Witches was me and Jack and the good days and, the cool guy he was and the great songs we did. So once that came into play, when we saw each other, it was kind of one of those things. And I guess he was not sure about what was happening with the current lineup of Witches. And so we talked about a couple of things. And then he made it official, wanted me to come back and do another record. And then at that time, we also had been talking to Mike LaPont from Symphony X, which I'm close to. And he is part of the project now, too.
Excellent. Well, the Classic Metal Show and Chris and myself are very influential where Jack Frost is concerned. First of all, we teamed him up with Belladonna. And then we panned his last two Witches records so hard that he had no choice but to get you back in the fold. So you can thank us for the fact that Jack has come to his senses and agreed to bring you back to the band.
Yeah, and I think that it was something that we both knew was that this needed to be done, and hearing the two records we did, and I think he realized after a while, not in a bad way, because he had some great, Alan was great and all, but I think there was just something that was there that was missing in the chemistry of the songwriting, more to speak, I guess, and so, yeah, we were thinking of even calling the first record Unfinished Business. We thought, that sounds a little too mafia, though, so we'll think of something else.
Sure. Well, James, I mean, it's got to be difficult for you to go back to Witches, though, right now, because for probably the first time in, a decade, Helstar is a fully functional, active band again. So in a sense, you're in two full-time bands, correct?
Yeah, well, in a way, I think that I'm a glutton for punishment, so maybe the balance, that balance keeps me, it keeps me where I need to be, because, especially Helstar is probably at its biggest point that it's ever been, to be honest. I mean, I'm really stoked. We're very excited. I mean, for all of us to run around, finally even go get Helstar tattoos on our body, we know that it means something now after all these years. And trust me, the shows, the album, everything right now is just blowing up bigger than hell. Everything we've been doing as far as all our shows, they've all been beyond satisfactory. Just did a West Coast run that was great. Of course, Texas was sold out, and we still have yet to finish more Texas dates, and Europe's already lined up. All that stuff's going on, but what it comes down to, maybe consuming a half of the year of my life, then there's the other half of the year there's nothing going on besides the tribute show, and I can only do that so much. So I think with Witches coming back full fold for me, it was what I needed so that I could at least stay 95% to 90% busy with just music. Because especially now with this accident, hey, I need it because I just really can't go out and do the courier thing that much anymore because that involved lifting boxes once in a while or whatever. But I mean, and driving in a car around all day. So things have changed, and so it kind of came around at the right time when I needed to just get my butt on a plane and go sing.
Sure. Well, dude, from listening to the record, The King of Hell, and we've obviously had it for a little while because, that typical thing with bands these days where it comes out long ahead of the U.S. and, overseas. But the one thing that I've noticed from this record is this is by far, as a fan of the band, the heaviest record you have ever done with Helstar. Do you agree?
Oh, well, that was our intentions, totally. And you can thank Mr. Larry Berrigan and Rob Trevino for a lot of that because, we, over the years, all of us, our taste of music has evolved. We're not, we're not sitting there going, Power Slave and Peace of Mind is still my favorite record. I don't even listen to that stuff hardly much anymore. But, I mean, no, it is the heaviest by far and darkest, and it was our intentions, not so much purposely, but I think just naturally. I mean, I think once we really started writing new material, we just knew that, with all our experiences, I think, and love for, metal and what's going on today, plus where we came from, that's how it just came together. I mean,
sure.
It came out that way, and I think there's no other way it would have came out. So all we're really doing is we're just honestly delivering what Helstar is truly today in 2009. We didn't sit there and have to plan it out or really think, how can we stand up to the test of time? And it's just what we evolved into. Even though we split up for a while, I think somewhere along the line, spiritually, we've always been connected anyways.
Sure. Now, how difficult is it, with the new version of Helstar? I mean, obviously, you and Larry have been together for, most of your adult life, I think. How difficult is it to bring in the other guys that haven't been with you as long and still give them, creative input and stuff when you basically built this, you two built this from birth?
Well, the thing is that, Rob, actually, the good thing about this lineup is that the lineup is still somewhat pretty much the classic Remnants of War lineup from 1986, from the second Helstar record. The only piece of the puzzle that's missing there is the actual drummer that played on that record. But the connection is the drummer we have now has been part of my Helstar family with my get-togethers or my reunions that I did overseas under the moniker of Helstar, is the proper way to put it. That I've done some things starting in 2000. And with him actually being the roadie of that drummer that long ago, he was still in high school. It's kind of like they're still all like equal members. Jerry's been with me since, God knows how long. He just hasn't really written anything new. And I think with Rob coming from the Remnants and him and Larry getting together in a band prior to this reunion of this classic Helstar lineup, they two together have become what you would call equal partners in their world. So no, it was everything. When it came to the table, everything was just like family again. It wasn't like, I dictate this, you dictate that, and we're actually more of a band than we've ever been because we used to write that way. See, that was the frustrating part in the past, and some of the guys actually kicked themselves in the ass for it, and it's like, how ignorant I was, it's like back then I delivered the music, the lyrics, the melody, everything, and that's just the way it had to be. Well, fortunately, we wrote some good stuff that way anyways, but right. When we listen to this record, we go, wow, now this is a Helstar record.
Excellent, James. Well, you and Seven Witches will be performing at the Nightmare Metal Fest there in Texas. And you're going to be playing with former bandmate Jeff Thorpe of Vicious Rumors. And it's been a rumor, at least we talked to Lance King, that in the dressing room and in the venue itself, there will only be plastic bottles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he told me, and I said that's fine. I said I don't even think we'll need those anymore. Fortunately, being a grown man that I am, and as time went on, and receiving a very apologetic letter that it seemed to be sincere, and to me at the time, because I always wonder sometimes, like, what does he want now, but it seemed to be pretty sincere, and I wrote him one back, and I think we even exchanged a Christmas wish to each other. And then he went and did a few little dates in Europe, I think, and then he got back and said that that they were maybe going to be on some festivals, and they'd be honored if I would come do something for Moorball again. And I said, well, when we get ready to cross that bridge, we'll see, if time allows it, and I'm up to it, and sure, one of those things. That's kind of where everything's at right now.
Excellent. I don't suppose you had heard our interview that we did with Jeff shortly after.
Yeah, I did, and I pretty much just laughed about the whole thing. Yeah, I did. No, and then I guess what could he say in a situation like that? And like I said, overall, man, I think the guy. I give him credit for him upholding as much as he can. And it's not his fault sometimes that he's got some weak screws in the operation that cause him extra frustration that he needs, So it's kind of like, I wanted to tell him at one time, dude, if you just got rid of so and so and so and so, I'd let you hit me with a bottle again. Jesus, that's all you need to do,
Oh boy.
But no, he's I give him he's waved the flag for a long time, and I'm glad that the whole situation ended the way it did, towards the end of the year for us, instead of holding in all that anger and stuff.
Sure. Well, at least you'll be able to go to the venue and not be looking over your shoulder every 2 seconds, and be able to put on a good show, and
Yeah, totally. And I think that the two bands could actually really complement each other in another nutshell as well. It's kind of like the whole situation with true metal bands, or so to speak, classic metal bands or whatever. Let's face it, our genres are only so big, so we don't really have room to lose each other's friendships out there, And we need to stay united as much as we can. That's basically the way I've always saw it to begin with.
Sure. Well, you can catch James and Seven Witches at the Nightmare Metal Fest 2 coming up on March 20th and 21st. Where is it at, James?
It's actually in San Antonio, Texas.
Cool.
Yeah, it's about 2:45 from where 2 hours 45 minutes from where I live.
Excellent. So that I'd like to be a part of that. I think we're broadcasting that, right, Chris?
Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
San Antonio is
think
kind of like my second home to Houston. That's big Helstar territory and James Rivera territory.
Sure.
So even if we weren't getting along, he'd have been in trouble if he'd have started something anyways. He'd have had a bunch of angry Mexicans want to beat them up afterwards.
Jeez. Well, James, obviously, man, with the two projects going right now, have you gotten together with Jack yet to actually, maybe throw some ideas around, or are you still in full Helstar mode, or where are we at?
Well, actually, we just for now we did a lot of the Helstar stuff, and we are just on silence for a month. So I am in witches mode right now. Basically, Jack's been emailing me stuff, and I've gotten 3 songs from him, and one of them I've already got a great idea of the melody, the title, the whole 9 yards. That's the funny thing with me and Jack, is that we notice about each other is for some weird reason, whatever he comes up with and whatever I throw on it, it is spontaneous, but it always comes out great. And we like that I guess we like that chemistry. And my first togetherness with the whole band will be at the end of the month, when we do our show in Yonkers and one at Jack's. So
Okay.
That'll be my first time to go get into the witches camp again, and rehearse with the guys, and just bond the family back together again. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Sure. Now, when you guys sit down and actually, obviously you're writing some stuff and you're trading music back and forth. Right now, unlike maybe in the past, Helstar's music and Seven Witches' music kind of similar. How do you pick what goes to what band? Coming out of your head.
There is a big difference. I think the difference is, and I was just discussing this with Rob Trevino, the guitar player from Helstar, and Jack. And by the way, which the Helstar guys are more than thrilled and full-on blessings that I'm back in Witches, because they feel that out of all the stuff I've done, that was probably most my other realest band besides, Helstar,
Sure.
So they're happy that I'm back there. And I think the big difference between Witches and Helstar is a bit more busy, much more aggressive technically too. Not so much musically, but technically. And it's not. I want to say it's more of the Nevermore kind of thing, I guess, in a sense. Witches is a little bit more direct, straightforward, with a lot of just open music. It's a lot of open air for me to sing a different way completely, almost, though it's the same voice. You can only use your voice so many ways, but Witches allows me to sing differently than I do in Helstar, if you know what I mean. Not so much voice-wise, but feeling-wise. And that's the big difference. And I think that we all agree on that page that, it would never be a complete burnout, because I think Witches is kind of like my, how would I say it? Witches is like my Dio, kind of thing.
Sure.
Whereas it's kind of like having that kind of a project, comparing it more to maybe earlier Dio stuff, and it's just more open air there.
Well, I know it's early, James, early in the game, and the fact that Jack and his 7 Witches really haven't been able to go out on the road for years, literally. I mean, he hasn't really toured per se with the Witches, and he's had more touring with other projects outside of his own project than he has. And do you know if you're going to have an opportunity to tour Witches around the States at all, or is it too early in the game to know?
Oh, no. Primarily, that's our main thing, is to stay as busy as possible. I mean, I think Jack is, he's definitely a dog on a leash that can't stand it. I mean, he's constantly running away from home. As much as it's like, that damn dog broke the leash again. That's what I always say to him. And it's like he just wants to play as much. And I know that LaPond loves to play. My whole thing is, like I was explaining to you, yes, I've got to keep my focus 150% on Helstar, but when Helstar is at home and they can't do shows, and our touring is limited because, the guys, fortunately for them, which I'm very proud of them, they have, over the years of some of that retirement from music, they've really gone forward with some really good jobs, very beautiful families, nice homes. So, and they're so excited about being back in Helstar that they got to use their vacation time wisely, but they only have so much of it. So with Witches, now that allows me to go, okay, guys, well, hey, man, we're done for a while, dude. Go have fun with Witches, because we can't tour again until, at least October. Yeah, I've used up my vacation time. So I think with this, we're going to definitely get out and go to many places. I know we got a West Coast run at the end of April. And then, of course, Disdain in Texas. And because Disdain in Texas wants an exclusive, then I'm just going to bring them back to Texas later for the other cities that we couldn't do around the festival, like my hometown, Houston. And Jack's already got more dates in the East Coast at the end of March. So I think that it's probably inevitable that we will definitely have to do a Cleveland show somewhere along the line in the Midwest. I'm sure you guys can even make that happen somehow. But I don't want to put you on a spot on the radio, but I mean, I know you have the power.
Sure. We are all powerful, James. You should know that.
Yeah.
Being that we derive all of our power from the King of Hell himself, you've bestowed upon us the ability to pull off such feats of greatness.
There you go.
Thanks for checking out the Best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
There's just such a different energy from you guys than the previous last record. You know what I mean? The prior to this, you guys were more of an old school metal band. I do agree with you too that the sound is much more. I don't know that I would have said Nevermore, but it's in that vein of, taking traditional elements but putting a much more fierce guitar tone, if nothing else, on it. I mean, I love it, man. I think it's really good stuff.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, that's exactly what we were doing, and that's what we accomplished. And so we know that from here on out, that as long as we keep that chemistry going, each record will just get better and better. This is just our first, our first offering of being a band apart for, that long, and then having the main people all back together again. So just listening to this record just makes us smile and go, wow, wait till the next record.
Excellent.
Well, is it difficult right now, James, to even have a record out, with a label and stuff? I mean, obviously the economy is pretty much gone to shit, but bands like yours not necessarily going to be the ones that the record companies are going to jump at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is frustrating because it's such a strong record. This should be the record that really, if it had got the right push from that, well, you're right. The economy's so bad that label folded here in America. So the promotion of it that was expected of it is now on hiatus.
Right.
The good news is that before the label folded, they did all the groundwork to have it to the main distributor, which is Ryco. So because of that, then it got that push of a high priority record because of the distributor having it. So it's not impossible to find, at least. Thank God for that. If that had happened after this fact, then the distributor probably wouldn't even do nothing with it either, and then it'd just be one of those records that'd be like, Jesus, where do I find it at?
Right.
But I mean, it's not selling millions for us, but I do know for a fact that in a long time, out of a lot of projects I've done, it's a record that I can see that fans they're getting it. They're getting it left and right somewhere, and they're showing up to the shows with them. So it's kind of like, wow, we actually have a record out there somewhere. I mean, it's in Best Buy and Target and those kind of places. So, and some of those stores actually have it in there, and some of them don't. Some of them you just have to tell the guy, hey, then they'll order it for you and they'll drop ship it to your house. But it's doing okay. But I mean, I think that right now with the economy, I just think that everything's gone to hell. Not so much, and of course it's definitely making the music business hard and your turnouts. So far we've been lucky and the turnouts have been really, really good. I'm surprised. So, I'm just curious to see what the Seven Witches shows are going to do. We all just, as a nation, we all have to hope for something good to happen so that we can continue to do the things we enjoy to do.
Sure, James. Well, where can people find out about you out there on the web? You got a personal MySpace or just band MySpace or website, or what do you have?
The best way to find out what I'm doing, where I'm at, where I'm buying groceries, all that kind of stuff, is the MySpace James Rivera one, because that's the one that's really updated with all the dates.
Excellent.
It has everything yet. As a matter of fact, there's plenty of dates up there now. So, I mean, I don't even know sometimes what's on there. Sometimes I look at it and go, I didn't know I was doing that. I forgot, yeah. But no, that's the most updated date. And, of course, you can go to the Helstar MySpace that's updated for any of the Helstar activity. And I think Witches has something, but I think he's trying to get someone to really be updated with a Witches site or something going on there.
Sure. Excellent. All right, James, well, is there anything else?
Well, no, I just want to tell you guys thanks, man. Thanks a lot for, supporting me and promoting me as much as you guys can. I appreciate it. And look forward to seeing you guys up in that area. I've been trying to get up to that area for a while, and I'll get up there.
Sure.
Nice.
Well, you can catch James out there on the road. Like I said, once again, they're doing a show over there in Texas, the Nightmare Metal Fest 2, March 20th and 21st. And go pick up the latest Helstar, I should say, the King of Hell. You go look that up. I'm sure you can find it online if you can't find it at a local store. And looking forward to the Witches hitting the road this year and being part of summer fun.
You got it.
All right, man. Well, James, we always let our guests pick a departing song. So, is there something you'd like us to play off the new Helstar, or a Seven Witches tune, or somebody else's tune?
Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and play another Helstar song. Why not?
Sure.
Why don't you go ahead and give them When Empires Fall?
Okay, any story behind that?
It's basically as we listen to it as the writers and the topic of the song, the whole 9 yards. It is the most traditional Helstar song, you know, of the Helstar of the future. Now, I guess that's the best way to put it. It's your typical Helstar song.
Excellent. All right, well, here it is. This is Helstar from the latest release, The King of Hell, and this is When Empires Fall, exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
Thanks for checking out the best of the Classic Metal Show. You can tune into the Classic Metal Show live every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern, exclusively at www.theclassicmetalshow.com.
The Classic Metal Show.